This is the grammatical sentence formation course being taught by M. Kadribadi Chennai. Dear friends, are you ready? Today, we are going to see Fluency in English, part 41. You just note down the heading Fluency in English, part 41. Fluency in English, part 41. Fluency means what? You may ask me. Fluency is nothing but the quality of being able to speak English fluently without any hesitation. That means what? When you think you have to speak, that is called fluency. I am here. I will train you in a systematic way to get fluency in English without any grammatical errors. Only thing is, you have to listen with concentration. That is very, very important. That is the key to improve your communication in English. The main heading is Fluency in English, under which we see various usages. In that order, now we are going to see past perfect continuous tense. Already we have started, okay? Past perfect continuous tense is nothing but pastலே start பண்ணி pastலே நடந்து pastலே போய்க்கிட்டு இன்னொரு ஆக்ஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி, okay? I will raise as many questions as possible in past perfect continuous tense using the primary auxiliary verb had plus been plus main verb with ing. When we will use past perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense is used for an action that began before a certain point in the past and continued up to that time, or an action that had been going on at or before some point of time in the past. Past perfect continuous tense is used for an action that began before a certain point in the past and continued up to that time, or an action that had been going on at or before some point of time in the past. That means what? Pastலே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி பாஸ்ட்லே நடந்து பாஸ்ட்லே போயிட்டு இருந்தது இன்னொரு ஆக்ஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி. அப்போ இன்னொரு ஆக்ஷன் மீன்ஸ் ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ்ல ரெண்டு பார்ட் வரும். மெயின் கிளாஸ் இருக்கும், சபார்டினேட் கிளாஸ் இருக்கும். அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? அப்போ இதில் என்ன கன்ஜெக்ஷன் யூஸ் பண்ண போகிறோம்? பிஃபோர் தான் 100% யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அன்டில் டில்லு வரலாம். அதே கிளாஸாக இல்லாமல் ஃப்ரேஸ் வந்ததுன்னா அப்போ பிஃபோர் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அந்த கேஸில் பிஃபோர் வந்து ப்ரிப்போசனை யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? கிளாஸ் ஆகிருந்த பிஃபோர் வந்து கன்ஜங்ஷன். Shall we start? Okay. So I will take a translation for the first sentence. After that you can understand. Okay? Sir, where had you been servicing your car before you sold it in December 2022? Where had you been servicing your car before you sold it in December 2022? நீங்கள் உங்களுடைய காரை டிசம்பர் 2022 விற்பதற்கு முன்னாடி எங்கே உங்களுடைய காரை சர்வீஸ் பண்ணி கொண்டிருந்தீங்க? I had been servicing my car at Gindi before I sold it in December 2022. I had been servicing my car at Gindi before I sold it in December 2022. டிசம்பர் 2022 நான் என்னுடைய காரை விற்பதற்கு முன்னாடி கிண்டியில நான் என்னுடைய காரை சர்வீஸ் பண்ணி கொண்டிருந்தேன். Which service center had you been servicing your car in Gindi before you sold it in December 2022? Which service center had you been servicing your car in Gindi before you sold it in December 2022? டிசம்பர் 2022 உங்களுடைய காரை நீங்க விற்பதற்கு முன்னாடி கிண்டியில எந்த சர்வீஸ் சென்டர்ல உங்க காரை சர்வீஸ் பண்ணி கொண்டிருந்தீங்க? I had been servicing my car at Maru Service Center in Gindi before I sold it in December 2022. I had been servicing my car at Maru Service Center in Gindi before I sold it in December 2022. டிசம்பர் 2022 நான் என்னுடைய காரை விற்பதற்கு முன்னாடி கிண்டியில் உள்ள மாறு சர்வீஸ் சென்டர்ல நான் என்னுடைய காரை சர்வீஸ் பண்ணி கொண்டிருந்தேன். This is the translation for this usage. Hereafter you can understand for other sentences. Okay. In the same method you have to translate. That is very important. You have to keep in mind. Okay. Shall I repeat them and then proceed? Okay. Sir, where had you been servicing your car before you sold it in December 2022? I had been servicing my car at Gindi before I sold it in December 2022. Which service center had you been servicing your car in Gindi before you sold it in December 2022? I had been servicing my car at the Maru Service Center in Gindi before I sold it in December 2022. You see here, at the Maru Service Center in Gindi. You see here, Gindi Rula Maru Service Center. We have to use preposition like this, okay? At Maru Service Center in Gindi. Like that we have to use. Before, you can see in Gindi. That is different. Understand? ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ்ல ரெண்டு பிளேசஸ் வந்தா பெரிய பிளேஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி we have to use the preposition in. சின்ன பிளேஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி we have to use the preposition at. இந்த கேஸ்ல கிண்டி வந்து பெரிய பிளேஸ், மாரு சர்வீஸ் சென்டர் வந்து சின்ன பிளேஸ். பிஃபோர் தட் we have to use the preposition at. கிண்டி வந்து big place. Before that we have to use in. Okay, separate Gindi matra vanda we have to use the preposition at. This you have to understand. Shall I proceed further? Okay. Mr. Ganesh, what had your colleague, Mr. Ravi, been doing before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening? What had your colleague, Mr. Ravi, been doing before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening? He had been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening. He had been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening. How long had he been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening? How long had he been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening? He had been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party for 4 hours before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening. He had been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party for 4 hours before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening. Since when had he been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening? Since when had he been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening? He had been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party since 1 o'clock before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening. He had been verifying all the files to be sent to the external audit party since 1 o'clock before he left office at 5 o'clock last evening. Mr. Prabhu, had your uncle been running a textile business in Coimbatore before he came to Chennai in April 2018? Had your uncle been running a textile business in Coimbatore before he came to Chennai in April 2018? Yes, he had been running a textile business in Coimbatore before he came to Chennai in April 2018. Yes, he had been running a textile business in Coimbatore before he came to Chennai in April 2018. How many years had he been running the textile business in Coimbatore before he came to Chennai in April 2018? How many years had he been running the textile business in Coimbatore before he came to Chennai in April 2018? He had been running the textile business in Coimbatore for 15 years before he came to Chennai in April 2018. He had been running the textile business in Coimbatore for 15 years before he came to Chennai in April 2018. Mr. Prakash, who had been operating the machine before it was repaired last month? who had been operating the machine before it was repaired last month. The mechanic, Mr. Kumar, had been operating the machine before it was repaired last month. The mechanic, Mr. Kumar, had been operating the machine before it was repaired last month. How many months had he been operating the machine before it was repaired last month? How many months had he been operating the machine before it was repaired last month? He had been operating the machine for 18 months before it was repaired last month. He had been operating the machine for 18 months before it was repaired last month. Mr. Prakash, which college had your director been giving a lecture before he came here? Which college had your director been giving a lecture before he came here? He had been giving a lecture at Crescent Engineering College before he came here. He had been giving a lecture at Crescent Engineering College before he came here. How long had he been giving the lecture at Crescent Engineering College before he came here? How long had he been giving the lecture at Crescent Engineering College before he came here? He had been giving the lecture at Crescent Engineering College for 2 hours before he came here. He had been giving the lecture at Crescent Engineering College for 2 hours before he came here. Mr. Prasad, had you been attending a meeting before your father came to your office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon? Had you been attending a meeting before your father came to your office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon? Yes, I had been attending a meeting before my father came to my office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Yes, I had been attending a meeting before my father came to my office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. How long had you been attending the meeting before your father came to your office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon? How long had you been attending the meeting before your father came to your office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon? I had been attending the meeting for 1.5 hours before my father came to my office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I had been attending the meeting for 1.5 hours before my father came to my office at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Mr. Chandru, had they been carrying out the work until the sun set? Had they been carrying out the work until the sun set? Yes, they had been carrying out the work until the sun set. Yes, they had been carrying out the work until the sun set. Mr. Ganesh, had they been continuing the interview until all the candidates were interviewed yesterday? Had they been continuing the interview until all the candidates were interviewed yesterday? Yes, they had been continuing the interview until all the candidates were interviewed yesterday. Yes, they had been continuing the interview until all the candidates were interviewed yesterday. Mr. Ramu, had you been trying to phone him until he responded to your call? Had you been trying to phone him until he responded to your call? Yes, I had been trying to phone him until he responded to my call. Yes, I had been trying to phone him until he responded to my call. Mr. Murugan, had your uncle been trying to join IIT Madras before he was appointed as an assistant professor at Anna University in October 2020? Had your uncle been trying to join IIT Madras before he was appointed as an assistant professor at Anna University in October 2020? Yes, he had been trying to join IIT Madras before he was appointed as an assistant professor at Anna University in October 2020. Yes, he had been trying to join IIT Madras before he was appointed as an assistant professor at Anna University in October 2020. Mr. Swami, had the software engineer been installing a computer before he fainted unconsciously? Had the software engineer been installing a computer before he fainted unconsciously. Yes, he had been installing a computer before he fainted unconsciously. Yes, he had been installing a computer before he fainted unconsciously. Mr. Vinod, had your elder brother been saving some amount from his salary before he got married in June 2021? Had your elder brother been saving some amount from his salary before he got married in June 2021? Yes, he had been saving some amount from his salary before he got married in June 2021. Yes, he had been saving some amount from his salary before he got married in June 2021. How much had he been saving from his salary per month before he got married in June 2021? How much had he been saving from his salary per month before he got married in June 2021? He had been saving rupees 5,000 from his salary per month before he got married in June 2021. He had been saving rupees 5,000 from his salary per month before he got married in June 2021. Mr. Money, had all the sweepers been cleaning all the floors in their building before they started the function at 6 o'clock last evening? Had all the sweepers been cleaning all the floors in their building before they started the function at 6 o'clock last evening? Yes, all the sweepers had been cleaning all the floors in their building before they started the function at 6 o'clock last evening. Yes, they had been cleaning all the floors in their building before they started the function at 6 o'clock last evening. Mr. Santosh, which school had he been studying at before he joined DAV school? Which school had he been studying at before he joined DAV school? He had been studying at Vanavani Matriculation Higher Secondary School before he joined DAV school. He had been studying at Vanavani Matriculation Higher Secondary School before he joined DAV school. Mr. Prabhu, had he been writing a lecture to his friend who is in Singapore, inviting him to his wedding to be held in Coimbatore next month before his manager, Kimdi? Had he been writing a lecture to his friend who is in Singapore, inviting him to his wedding to be held in Coimbatore next month before his manager Kimdi? Yes, he had been writing a letter to his friend who is in Singapore, inviting him to his wedding to be held in Coimbatore next month before his manager Kimdi. Yes, he had been writing a letter to his friend who is in Singapore, inviting him to his wedding to be held in Coimbatore next month before his manager came there. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? Did you listen with the concentration? Okay. Let me finish up to this level. Thank you very much for having attended this class continuously. If you like this course, if you are interested in attending this class, if it creates any positive vibration in your mind, please share with your friends and others. It will definitely, certainly, and surely make my dreams realized. I will meet you this time tomorrow. Until then, goodbye. M. Kadrivedu. Thank you.